Hey everybody, and welcome to the Wonder Twins Business Hour. This is our fourth episode, the episode for July 29th. I'm Ryan Gilliam. With me is Jake the Alright.
Hello.
And we yap about industry, business, video game stuff here. And this week we have just another sad tale in the history. That's just like basically what this show is. I think is like let's start a video game industry show. We'll talk about all sorts of different things. We won't just talk about Marathon. There's so much sad stuff going on over there. We'll talk about other industry stuff, and you're like, oh, the whole industry is sad. All of this news is bad all the time, and God willing, one day we'll have one of these. It's like, isn't this great? Look at all the good stuff that's happening.
Hey, this is when you need some goobers talking about video games. People, hey, don't go hollow. All you crestfallen gamers out here, it's okay. We'll be with you. Even when everything's terrible and everything's shutting down.
And it
You know
is.
what else? You know what else we should say, Ryan, is if you're watching this right now, we're live. Ryan and I are live on Twitch playing Baldur's Gate 3. And
Yeah.
then this evening, I believe, maybe, possibly, for sure, we should be playing the Mistfall Hunter, which is coming out today, a new extraction fantasy Souls-like game,
Yeah.
which is tons of fun.
And
So
Baldur's Gate,
you should,
a
and
good
Baldur's Gate.
success story. I'm saying Baldur's Gate, good video game thing.
There we go.
Good video game
Positive. Here we
story.
go.
Yes, game that came out and revived a whole genre and won a million awards and deserved all of them. And now we will probably get a bunch of bad CRPG copies because of it, but that's okay, because we got Baldur's Gate to begin with, so it's all right. It's all right. And then
Well, we know at least one good one will be coming because Larian is working on the next
yes,
Divinity game.
yes, true.
So we got that.
And then on the other side of the coin, we have Mistfall Hunters being just really taking the Gunnar genre to its logical conclusion with an extraction shooter. Uh, you know,
All roads lead
all
to
roads lead to
extraction.
extraction, all roads lead to Goon, and some,
Yeah.
those mad lads were like, let's put them together, let's see what happens. Um, but yeah, good shout. We'll be doing both of those, and you can catch the VODs for the Baldur's Gate, at least from my perspective, on my channel, on a playlist on my channel. They're unlisted, but you can find them in there if you look. Um, okay, so the bad news for this week that we're talking about, which Jake you can go through here, is about Dragon Age and a new interview with one of the creators and producers, Mark Dara. I think I'm saying that correct. With the
Well,
FRVR
you said
podcast.
Dara, so I'll be saying Dara. So
Great.
you
Well, we'll
either
be
you
wrong.
said it right or you messed us both up.
Cool.
So Mark Dara, creator of Dragon Age, did an interview with the FRVR podcast, and he said that he thinks the current structure of BioWare means that Dragon Age is dead. Inquisition was BioWare's best-selling game ever, but Veilguard took a decade to come out. Did you play Veilguard, Ryan?
I did play Veilguard. I actually really liked it for the good chunk that I got through it, and then I kind of put it down for whatever reason and never picked it back up.
Interesting. It seems to be the story I've heard from it, is that it just wasn't as gripping, I
Well,
guess,
I
as
I
maybe some of the
have the
Dragon
weird
Age
and
things.
bad opinion of not really liking Inquisition, and finding it kind of like its world a little soulless and just like difficult to just like make it through. So I've never beaten Inquisition. I'm a big Origins guy, but I kind of liked Veilguard's more cinematic presentation um over the Inquisition. So I really did like it and I wanted to finish it. I just didn't. I just ran out of steam at some point or got distracted by some other work thing and just never didn't make the time to get back to it like I did for some other big narrative game.
And it gets added to the backlog. In this podcast, we have a
Yes.
few quotes here from Dara, who said, I think it was happening because of EA's complicated relationship to shipping games at all. He continues, someone once described to me EA as a hedge fund with a video game hobby that it wished it didn't spend so much money on. And I think that remains true.
That's such an incredible quote. I love that quote. Um that's so delightful.
Yeah, and I see a note here also that EA owns a frightening number of IPs that are dormant, which is rather unfortunate. And then another quote here from Dara saying, "The problem is I don't know who at BioWare would pitch a Dragon Age," which I guess is there a idea that Dragon Age is coming? Is there a team still maybe working or would be flirting with that
Yeah.
concept? It seems like the creator thinks no.
So one thing that he was talking about, so I'm a little conflicted on it. I think he is I've seen people refer to him as the creator. He mostly like as while working there. I'm unsure as much about that, but he definitely was like the main executive producer who also like tried to get this done for a long time. But like some of the context here is that he was talking also about like there there are basically two major issues with bringing Dragon Age back. One we'll get into in a moment, which is what happened when they tried to bring it back. There's an institutional knowledge issue that we'll get to. But also what he's talking about here is like there's this IP fight thing where basically like so many different places like will argue about who owns the IP, and then as soon as you start doing something like basically there's nobody at BioWare that Dara sees as somebody who would bring out Dragon Age, who would be there to be like, let's do this now, let's do a Dragon Age thing next. And then if EA were to be like, well, cool, well, we'll go do a Dragon Age thing with someone else, then BioWare would be like, no, 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 no. That's our IP, even though you own us, that's still our thing. And it would just become this big messy argument that would be very difficult to resolve. Um, and so it's just like it's beyond just a normal like, oh, is there realistically anybody who's there who's gonna pitch it? And it also like if somebody were to pitch it, they would be basically taking on a large fight. That it's unsure who or like how that would even resolve.
Which is why EA needs to be more like Nintendo. And you turn the IP fight into a game, and we can get a Super Smash Bros. With Commander Shepard.
Perfect.
These require modern solution. We have the technology now. We can bring them all into the same game.
Yeah, I mean, like you can have you can have a map that is just Commander Shepard's favorite shop in the Citadel. As just that's just the fight. That's where you just do all the platform battles with you know,
Yeah,
Commander
some great
Shepard,
arena
Garrus, and all
opportunities
those
here.
famous characters from Dragon Age.
Yeah. In the same interview,
Morgan,
Dara
Alistair. I
spoke.
know Dragon Age characters. Leave me alone.
Okay, there we go. You're getting there. Dar spoke about DA remasters. He said there were plans for a champion edition of Dragon Age, similar to a legendary
Yeah.
edition that we've seen with other games. And Dara thinks EA and BioWare don't actually have the institutional knowledge to make them, as Ryan was just saying. Here's a quote: "There is basically no one at BioWare anymore that understands the Aurora engine. So, unlike Mass Effect, which is Unreal, there are basically no companies that could help you," which is interesting to hear from as someone who made the game. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to see that maybe it's a problem locked to a technology issue, which is kind of one of the recurring themes in gaming, how kind of intrinsically linked the technology and the creative components of these things are and how those kind of shape each other.
Yeah. So that's like that quote's crazy. Um that's like that should be a very like you're saying a very like for even folks who aren't super who are more like I just care about playing the games, which I don't think they're probably listening to this show. But like the that should be telling to you about when I've talked in the past on things about how devastating layoffs are from more than just a perspective of like when I was being really pessimistic on Escape Will Make Me Pod, if people listen to that, about the Bungie layoffs, I think Scaro, our other host there, was being understandably very hopeful that all of these people, the amazing people that made Destiny, are going to go on and make, other games. And one of the only positive things you could say is like, well, how many great games now are going to be influenced by the people who used to be making Destiny, and how many great games are we going to get because of that? But realistically, these mass layoffs create this huge brain drain in the gaming space where you just lose tons of industry veterans who spent years honing their skills, working on specific engines in some cases, and then they just disappear into a different sector. They go become a teacher, or they go work on software development instead, in like the business sector, or they just completely shift to a totally different form of publishing or form of art, or just move out of art altogether because of the way that things are right now. And this is a tangible, very real impact of things like that happening, where now there just aren't people who understand an entire ass engine that a franchise was previously built on. And so if you don't have the people that understand the engine, to it's going to be very difficult to go in and do a faithful remaster unless you're like remaking the games. And that's a much larger ask than going in and just taking the old games like in the Mass Effect Legendary Edition and zhuzhing them up a little bit. So yeah, like, of the reasons to, we see reasons like this for like, oh, there's not going to be, this kind of remaster ever again because of rights holder bullshit, or because of people just don't want it enough. It would be one thing if he was out here being like, yeah, we wanted to do a champion edition for the game, and we thought that some people would really buy it and get into it, but EA disagreed and they were being short-sighted about it, so it's not going to happen. That would suck, for sure, and that happens all the time. But to not be getting a remaster of these games that are really beloved by people because there just aren't enough people in the industry or anymore, or at least at BioWare and EA, who know how to run the fucking engine that it was on. That's brutal. That is the basically what everyone who talks about the devastation that these layoffs leave in their wake have warned about, happening like in real time, and being discussed very candidly in an interview. Yeah, it's a devastating reason to not get this thing.
Yeah, we're entering into dystopian sci-fi shit with the video games industry, or Warhammer stuff, where it's like, we don't know how the old technology works, so we worship it. And we don't
Yeah.
understand it. We can't reproduce it, but
Don't worry,
it
dude.
was amazing.
We're like 2 or 3 years for you can just go in and ask ChatGPT to figure out how to run the Aurora engine for you.
Oh, yes, there we go. The future is
Yeah,
AI,
no, oh yeah,
folks. You heard it
OpenAI
here
is going to give us
first.
the champion edition in the next 5 years. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. That's that's sarcasm. Don't I'm not going to leave room for that one.
Gemini, make a new Dragon Age game. And then fucking one of these CEO winks like, yeah,
Yeah.
told you guys, smirk. Yeah.
Hey Grok, do me a solid.
Hey, Grok, can you make Dragon Age but extra racist, please? Sure thing, boss. On it right now.
Hey, can you make Dragon Age where you strip out all the gay shit? That's what's gonna happen when Saudi Arabia buys EA, which is happening. So we're almost there for that one. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, can you make
Yeah,
this fantasy game a little less queer, please?
yeah, we need to remove the bi lighting from Halo. They
Yes.
should do a mod. They should do a mod that removes color from Halo.
Jake, do you
We'll work
really
on
not
that.
think that that game has been out for almost a week and somebody has not modded out the by lighting in the game?
I would genuinely love to know. Hold on.
Surely I cannot imagine a world where you can't find a mod for this, even if it's
Halo mod
just a joke.
remove gay lighting. Here we go. Let's see here. I'm not seeing anything just yet. So there is an opportunity here if any modders are listening. Nexus
Oh,
mod.
I
Oh,
thought that
here we
was an
go.
actual mod that you found with
No.
calling it gay lighting instead of fi lighting
You-
instead, which I was like, that.
Here we go. You have the title. You're welcome. That one's on us. It looks like we don't have it
On
yet, at
us,
least
yeah.
on Nexus mod. So, hey, we'll
Definitely on us.
we'll check in. We'll check in weekly to see if we can get something going.
Weekly by lighting mod check. Failed
Yeah.
this time. Next episode, fingers crossed
Yeah.
that the
Well,
heroes out
hey,
there are doing the work.
it's unfortunate to see there isn't another Dragon Age coming. I was never super into it. I played Origins.
Oh
What was the one
yeah,
that came out like around Fallout, Skyrim
yeah, that was
era,
Origins.
Was that Origins? Okay,
Yes,
I played some of Origins when I was a kid. I thought it was all right. It's definitely one of those games where it's like I could tell I didn't get the most out of it because at the time I was playing it, it wasn't like up my alley. But I do think it's something I'll probably go back to. A lot of these games, though, are
yeah.
preserved in fantastic ways online. So I guess the real travesty is like there's not a continuation or an evolution of the genre, but at least those things are easily accessible in a lot of capacities if you know where to look.
I had a real like. It wasn't until several years after it came out because I think I was in. I think I was. It was the summer before I left for college, so it would have been 2012 probably, which Origins came out. My keyboard's too clacky, so apologize. Um, yeah, hear how loud that is. I like that sound. It
We're
came out in
removing that in
2009.
post.
Yeah, good. Yeah. But is that yeah, good. So I sound truly insane talking about how loud my keyboard is. Yeah, so Dragon Age Origins came out in 2009. I didn't play it all the way. I played it a little bit at launch, but I didn't play it all the way through until like 3 years later. But I had like a real hot and heavy summer with that game. Of like serving tables at Outback Steakhouse, and over the summer, and then basically anytime I was staying up until like 10 a.m. the next day, playing Dragon Age Origins, and then sleeping um, until like 9 p.m. that night or until my next shift, and then running it back with more Dragon Age Origins. I just did that for like 3 weeks, and through that game, and have genuinely very fond memories of it. But that is definitely the most I have ever been into the series, as much as I have wanted to get into more of them. But I know there are a bunch of people who just like love Inquisition. Fewer people who really love Veilguard. I think that that game is overhated, but definitely not as beloved. But it's just like it's hard to see franchises like that go the bad way. Which we'll get to in just a minute. But like I think this final bullet point here, which I mentioned offhandedly on a joke, is like worth mentioning, which is that one thing that Mark Darrow was talking about was that it is of course possible that all of this changes once EA changes hands, as they are currently being acquired by Saudi Arabia, and the EU have now, as of a week ago at the time of this recording, I believe, approved that deal. Which is bleak for a lot of stuff, but for me as a big Mass Effect guy, huge Mass Effect guy, that is like super bleak because like genuinely it is hard to imagine um a BioWare that is like potentially forced to hold back on some of the more like I mean queer or feminine stories that they've wanted to tell, as one of the places in the industry that has been, you know, telling queer stories way before it was like even socially acceptable to do it. You know, the first Mass Effect got in trouble for having a lesbian sex scene in it, a lesbian sex scene with Liara, and got on Fox News because of it and was infamous for it. And now it's hard to wonder, hard not to wonder what a if a BioWare that is a subsidiary of a Saudi company will be allowed to, how much of that stuff will be forcibly stripped out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. FemShep all the way. Um,
Yes.
uh, Also, I'm a little more bleak, I think, on the Mass Effect, whatever that's going to be. I guess I'm more so in the waiting camp, but
Yes.
James Olin and Drew Karpyshyn have worked on this Exodus thing, which I think is technically what that's like it's owned by Mattel, is that right? Or who owns D&D? Oh, Wizard of the
Wizards of the
Coast. I think
Coast.
technically that's a Wizard of the Coast gaming venture, so we haven't really seen like a proof of concept of how
Yeah.
that turns out yet, but a lot of the minds behind that are over there on that, and I'm pretty excited to see that in terms of something that
Yeah,
will fill the Mass Effect hole in my heart.
definitely. And but there's still that piece of me that still is like, hopes that maybe one day BioWare will put out another good video game. And like, it's been a minute. Been a minute. Been like what year is it? Been like 14 years. Um, depending on depending on where you fall on Dragon Age Inquisition. Been like 14 years for me personally since something they put out really connected with me. But um, yes, for those of you good at math, I like Mass Effect 3 and I liked it when it came out. But yeah, I have always hoped that they would eventually find their footing again, find success again. Um, However that looked and whatever franchise that was, and Mass Effect 4 is something that I'm like uh, tentative on as somebody who didn't really land on and didn't really like Andromeda at all. Um, but still, maybe them going back to and as much as I don't want them to necessarily go back to the Commander Shepard well, it's like, well, maybe if they go back, maybe if they go back, actually, they'll have an easier time making something good. Is like
That
the
was
lie I'm telling myself.
that was one of the best exasperated sighs I've ever heard.
Hey,
That was
that's what I'm here
so
for.
real. That was so
Thank
raw.
you. Yeah, thanks. If the key is if you have like a 2.5-month-old at home, it's really easy to channel that energy because you probably
Yeah,
have only slept like,
have a
yeah,
baby at home. Also be into video games in
yeah, have a
2026.
baby at home, be a little bit too into video games where you
Yeah.
like see where you've
Care about the
curated a feed
news.
over like a decade where you see all of the news every single day,
Yeah.
and then also have like a toddler as well running around like a 3.5-year-old like I do, and then really like, yeah, it just kind of comes from your soul pretty easy. It's really easy to kind of like I'm gonna use the word zhuzh again for a second unprecedented time to just zhuzh it out of you. It's a real easy to make to make that noise whenever you want. So I encourage you, live this life. Uh
We'll all get there one day.
yeah. Um so but no matter how excited I am about Mass Effect, I'm going to be very very curious to see if that game is markedly less queer than the series has been. Um as I think that will be a really telling moment for EA's new owners um, whenever that deal does inevitably go through. Or maybe something will happen to stop it, but not the thing that was supposed to happen, which is the EA Trade Commission, did not, in fact. So, I don't know. Anyway, all of this lovely, joyous stuff brings us to, I think, the question for today's show, Jake.
Yes. Hit me with it.
What what other dead franchises make you sad that they are truly gone, that they are dead in the dirt, dead for good, and never returning, or at least looking increasingly unlikely that they're going to.
Okay.
We
I
both
have
have
a
a
list
long
here.
list. Yes.
Like I say, you have a list as well. I think we should just say two up front. I don't know if these are on your list, but I don't know that we need to talk about them that much because everyone agrees. But I think we just need to say them. Half-Life and Bloodborne.
Oh, those are good ones that
Uh,
I did not have on my list. I'm not a big
I,
Half Life guy, so that one didn't immediately come to me.
what?
I know.
Really?
I
Oh my
know.
God. Half-Life is
Not
so. I don't know that there's a single bad. I know some people don't like when you go to Zen or what the alien levels in the end of Half-Life 1. I fuck with even that. Uh, but obviously a Half-Life 3 would be a big deal.
Yes. I want it to happen
You
if
know.
only so people will stop talking about it. So I fully want that game to happen just as bad as other people do, just for very different reasons.
And Bloodborne, I mean Bloodborne, I'm
Yes.
sure you're a big Bloodborne
Big
fan. I
big
mean,
Bloodborne fan, yes.
absurd. I guess we are getting the Dusk Bloods, but it's locked to the
Oh
fucking Switch
man.
2
Who
and it's
fucking
weird. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and also apparently like Sony has asked multiple times about remastering Bloodborne, and Miyazaki is like, no.
It is playable on PS5 with the PS5. I
Backwards
don't know what they call that.
compatibility. It's
The
playable with
backwards
backwards
compat,
compatibility, yeah. But
and it is
it feels
tricky,
old
but
at this because it is old, but it feels pretty old when I go back to it.
I prefer Bloodborne gameplay over Sekiro, which I feel like is a FromSoft sin. But
I feel like Sekiro's I love Sekiro, but I feel like Sekiro is criminally underrated. Um, I definitely like of the FromSofts. I've beaten Elden Ring and Sekiro and Bloodborne. I've never beaten a single Dark Souls game though. It's weird.
really,
But I
dang.
love Bloodborne and Sekiro and I've beaten them multiple times. I just can't bring myself to get through a Dark Souls game. I don't know why.
Ugh, Dark Souls 1 is so good. See, Dark Souls is another like dead franchise, but to be fair, I feel like the Dark Souls DNA comes through very heavily in Elden Ring, whereas
Yeah,
Bloodborne
Elden
still
Ring is
feels
basically like
separate
a
enough.
Elden Ring is an offshoot of Dark Souls. It's not, but it is. You know,
Yeah.
and Elden Ring
Okay, so
is great. So
those are my two up top we don't have to get into. If you want to start your list or if
it's
you
a
want
good
me to go
one.
first, however you want to do this, Ryan.
I mean, here's one that I think that you'll agree with, but also like this is one that I feel like I would like to stay dead unless a very specific scenario comes out that will become immediately obvious when I say it. Metal Gear Solid is
Oh,
a dead franchise that I love to pieces, that I am very sad that is stuck with Konami of all places. Although Konami is now re-entering the gaming space instead of just becoming a pachinko machine creator, you know, which like good for them, living their best life for a long time there. I'm actually very excited for the Castlevania game coming out later this year. Silent Hill's finally doing stuff again. Um, so
did
like they're
you
doing it, you know, they're doing some stuff, but did I what?
did you like Metal Gear Solid Delta? Were you a fan?
I did. I started it and was like, "Wow, this is gorgeous," and just I didn't. I put it back
Didn't
down
have
because it
time.
was like right around or a couple months after starting my website, and I was very busy. And playing a
Yeah.
bunch of different stuff from that, and I was like, "This is awesome, man! I love this game. It looks good." Oh shit, they changed the theme song. I hate that. Um, but
Well, it's the same. They just had to re-record
I
it,
know. I yes, but
I
I
think.
the vocals are so iconic to me from the first one that I was like, the no, you know, they recorded it. It sounds good, but it's just it doesn't. It's not the same. And with that particular song and arrangement, I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot sanction this. But you know, she
I
sounds great. I just to me, the original is the riffs are in different places. She makes different decisions, Jake, and I can't
this
handle it.
is
So
we're getting to the granular
yes, we
like
are correct.
nitpicky of the remakes. I feel you. I understand. I feel you in my heart. I honestly don't think I would want another. I would love more Metal Gear, but also I kind of think the thing that Kojima does, I feel like he latches on to like a feeling, like a
Yes,
premise, and he portrays that, and I feel like we're getting that in Death Stranding. So while we don't have
yes,
Metal Gear, I feel like the emotional core of what he would have wanted to say in a follow-up Metal Gear game,
yes,
we've
girl,
gotten. And I enjoy Death
yes.
Stranding. I would prefer though if Metal Gear Solid, and I just played through all the Gear games a year ago, I guess, or something like that at this point. So I played Metal Gear Solid 5 when it came out.
I cannot believe we were
Um,
not friends when you were doing that. I cannot believe that I missed that. I'm so
oh,
upset to have
so
missed that
good.
era of Jake. I would have been so there for that. I'm sorry.
It
Continue.
was fantastic. But I would say if there was something I could change about the series, I would want Peace Walker and Phantom Pain to be one game. That's what I would
I wish
just
he
to
could
like have it.
fix Phantom Pain.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think like Phantom Pain just doesn't feel like a complete story.
Yes,
Intentionally, I think is part of it, but also I don't really buy that that was like
it's a bad Metal Gear
100% on
game.
purpose.
It's a bad Metal Gear game. It's a phenomenal game. Bad Metal Gear game.
I think that's a fantastic way to put it. Yeah.
And
That was my least favorite out of the games, and I thought it was a good game. I
it's
thought it was all
brilliant.
things considered a good
Here's the
game.
problem with it though. Is every time I try to be like Konami fucked him so hard. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they would do this. I know it was wildly over budget, but like it's so ambitious. It's one of the coolest. Like imagine if he would have been able to finish the game and do exactly what he wanted with it. And every time I think about that and think about how genius he is about the whole thing, I remember that it was 100% his decision to replace David Hayter because of his weird celebrity fetish. And that is actually my biggest problem with the game is that the main character can barely speak because he's so expensive. Because he decided to, because Kojima gets such a hard on whenever any celebrity pays attention to him. And then I remember that is all his fault, actually, and I get mad at him about it again. So, um, part of me is kind of like, I am I'm glad that he has moved on. I would not want another Metal Gear. If the team that made Delta wants to like keep remaking the old ones so that they're more accessible, like a version of one, I think, that doesn't play like ass would be cool. Um, but I think
Well,
new,
hey, that's in Metal Gear Solid 4. So
true, very true. I told you, I don't know if I've said this on a show or anything, but I told you this, and everyone I've ever told thinks it's insane. The first Metal Gear game I ever played and fell in love with was 4. As like
yeah, I have.
as
Yeah,
like a
you have told me
15-year-old. 4 came out. I had never played the series. I played it. I absolutely loved it. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And then it wasn't until later that actually Giant Bomb started doing a playthrough of it, and started watching their playthrough of it, and then I started playing along with them. That was in college. And that was the first time I had played the first 3 games before 5 came out. And yeah, so I fell in love with that series because of the nonsense that was in 4. So, but that is truly, I think, one of all the different, like, I came in at a really weird time on this series. I think I take the cake on every single one of those conversations I've ever had with anybody, because 4 is
it
an
is
absolutely
funny.
insane place to enter in on Metal Gear
Yeah, it is funny to like be going to Shadow of Moses without any of that
without yes,
context. Like,
exactly. I was like,
yeah,
huh, weird.
neat,
Yeah,
interesting.
I think genuinely this will be sad for people. I think genuinely I recognize it from the map in Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
There you
Um,
go.
that's where I recognized it from. So that was my point of reference. But yeah, Metal Gear
Your
is
game,
in a
dude.
weird place. But yes, I love Death Stranding. I'm of the opinion genuinely that I think Hideo Kojima is the closest thing to like a true auteur that we have in the industry. Auteurs don't exist in auteur theory does not work with video games the way it does with film. I think it's debatable whether it even works with film truly, but he
Sam
is
Lake.
yeah, oh yeah.
Is
Sam
that
Lake is
out?
another. He's up there. He's a good option. I mean, someone like a Sid Meier is obviously also a good option. There are people who fit into the mold, but Kojima
Hmm.
has the
Yeah,
cult of personality of it as well. I think he is like the main topic.
yeah.
He's got the like obsession with himself. I say lovingly that it really works for him on it too. So I think the man is a genius. I'm still mad at him about the David Hayter casting, especially because like spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 5, he could have made it work in universe. If you go back and you play
Yeah.
that final mission and Ahab just sounds like David Hayter instead of like just literally only in the final mission. You play the final mission and it's and Ahab is David Hayter instead. They just replace the audio. It changes a lot for me. It fixes the problem in a big way. But he didn't even do that, so it's just like canonically just he sounds like ugh.
Yeah.
It
I
makes me
agree.
upset.
Also at the beginning, right? Like if that was David
Yes,
Hayter,
that would have given it
yeah.
away though. So like if he wanted to be like, oh, his brain was so messed up because of the accident that he heard this other person as himself instead because he couldn't accept the reality or whatever. That's fine. Oh, that would be fine or whatever. If he like,
Yeah.
but to not do it at the end when you replay the mission is like so criminal that I will never forgive Hideo Kojima for that. But I'm glad that he is still making video games, and I hope he makes them forever. So that was a long time on. I don't know. Metal Gear deserves it. Continue.
Metal Gear, okay. Now this one I know you're gonna agree with. Explosion Man.
Hell yeah,
Why
dude! What a
do
deep
we
cut.
not have the Super Mario 64 of Explosion Man? Why do we not have the 3D platformer exploring a lab Explosion Man? We got Miss Explosion Man,
Everybody
which
loves
was the
donuts,
same.
dude. Come on,
Yeah, listen. And hey, this is a
it's
great
a
Xbox
banger.
wants to reinvigorate here? Fucking
Yeah.
bring back the core franchises that we all love?
Yeah. Talk about an
Explosion Man.
Xbox reboot. Where's Explosion
Yeah.
Man?
Yeah, there we go.
Where is he? What did you
The
do with
people
him?
want to know.
Bring him back. That game was fun as hell. There were like
Yeah.
the co-op levels in like in it too, which were really good. Man, great puzzle platformer. Good
Critically
shout.
acclaimed, universally loved.
Yes,
Nobody hates Explosion Man.
yes. They need to go back to the well on a lot of those old Xbox arcade games. There's some really iconic ones from that era
Mm-hmm.
that just people don't even. I'm surprised they haven't re-released them in like a package, like we need like an
Yeah.
orange box style package for some of those classic arcade Xbox Live Arcade games.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, incredible. Okay, here's my number one. The first one I thought of for sure for me was Banjo Kazooie.
Well, okay. Is Banjo-Kazooie
Whoa.
dead?
Oh yeah. I mean, they always talk about it, but no, Rare has been stuck in the fucking Sea of Thieves minds for over a decade now, and no offense to people who like that game, but that's a crime.
I guess the rare replay thing, right? That's the
Yeah,
last
but those
thing
are
that we
still just
got.
the old games, and like, I'm sorry, people want to
Yeah,
come at me and be
yeah.
like, Nuts and Bolts is good. Actually, it's not. Sorry, like it's an interesting vehicle game, but it's not a Banjo Kazooie game, and like, miss me with that shit. It's like not my Banjo Kazooie, but like that series is
Not my Banjo.
like that series that first game is just like those games are so formative to me, like top 10 games of all time for me. I love Banjo Kazooie, and worlds better than Mario 64 for my money. And I think my that's a hot take, but I think to me Banjo Kazooie is just as influential on platforms as Mario 64 platforms as Mario 64 is. Because it really brought in more of the collectible element and the exploration element, and like, man, I love that series. And yeah, no, it's like it is dead in the water. They have been teasing. People have been like joking about. Phil Spencer has always been like, oh, maybe, but now Phil Spencer's gone, and now Xbox is doubling down on their big franchises. So no, I think Banjo Kazooie's done.
Wow. I have no attachment to Banjo-Kazooie, but
Oh
I
my
do think
god.
their iconic character, like I do think it has more value maybe than what people think. But honestly, this isn't even on my list. You know what that made me think of? They should bring back Conquer. Do you remember Conquer's Bad
I see
Fur
Conquer. I
Day?
never
And
played. I grew up in a very conservative home, Jake. So Conquer would have been.
oh,
My parents are cool now.
so-
Don't worry about it. But no, at the time that would have been too much.
okay, yeah, that's what I was bouncing around in. Poop jokes, farting, swearing. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's like
Drinking booze.
pretty sure they have like the model for King Cole from Banjo Tooie in Conker's Bad Fur Day, but he's like a big poop,
Yep,
um,
yep, yep.
which is that's got like corn stuck in it, awesome, which is awesome, incredible, very funny. But no, I never played Conker's Bad Fur Day, but I should have probably.
Okay.
Probably would have been up my alley, but I never made it happen.
That wasn't on my list. This next one is actually on my list. All right. And I'm interested to even see if you know what this game is.
Okay.
Brute Force,
Fuck yeah, dude.
original Xbox.
That's my go-to joke about that era when people I was in Forebear, friend of the channel's chat, literally watching him play Halo last week and said, "Is this brute source?"
Yeah.
Brute is I was like, "Is
Yeah.
this brute force?" Um that and because that's my go-to, no one knows what the fuck that game is. Hell yeah, dude.
It wasn't good, but it
No.
was so charming.
Yeah.
Like it's just for people who don't know, it's just like a third person shooter, but it's squad based. So like you have four people and it's kind of all about like directing your squad what to do. We're showing off the tech. Look how many different characters you're controlling, but also you're over the shoulder. Well, actually, I don't even think it's over the shoulder, right? It was like it's third person, but you're kind of like he's in the middle of the screen. So before we really figured out the third person
Yeah.
shooting, maybe even
Big
uh
alligator man, too.
Yeah, and also there's a big gator. It's kind of like and maybe this is horribly wrong, and I'm just like in my mind creating this. It's kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy style mercenary crew, less funny,
It's
more taking
significantly
themselves
less
too
funny, yes.
seriously.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is the kind of thing where you see the box art and you're like, ooh. I remember specifically seeing the box art and being like, ooh, cool, alligator man. All right, I'll pick
Yeah.
this up. And then you play it and you're like, this is very serious. This is like not as fun and whimsical as the cool alligator man with the machine gun would lead me to believe that it would be.
They're
um,
hardcore.
yeah, they're
They could do
super.
something cool with that now, though.
Yeah, totally. And hopefully, maybe have more of a sense of humor about it. But also, maybe I don't remember because I was like 10. Damn, did not expect a brute force reference pulled out on this one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Listen,
Uh,
we're bringing back the good ones.
incredible. Speaking of, I joked about this before, and but I don't necessarily think this is fully true. Can I can I say Halo on this show? Does that work? Does that play to to the crew? That play to the chat? Cause like, come on, dude. I know we
I
just got the
concur.
one remake or whatever, which I like actually, but like, can we get some actual? Can we get some Halo? Can Halo come back? How would it's crazy that that IP feels dead, and yet there's been a whole studio devoted to it for over a decade.
Yeah, I concur that the franchise is kind of dead, but I think no. I think we've had Halo. I think Halo's
I know.
great,
I'm
and there's so
joking.
much good Halo. I think we let Halo we lay Halo down to rest. We do a funeral for it. Maybe they just give us one more mission where you just bury yourself or
One
something.
last
I don't
fight.
know. You go to a tomb. It's a tomb. It's like a memorial for all the things you've done. You get to do a little fight there
You could
or
just have
something.
Master Chief stand like his skeleton standing in his armor too. It can lock up like that. They could just do that. That could just he could just be like a dioramic tube.
He gets
We just
buried
walk
inside
around like
Sue's
his own
armor.
sarcophagus. Yeah.
It was so horrific. Dude, do you remember there was this like a 90s movie and it was about this kid like an alien spacesuit crashes onto Earth and he gets inside of it and he gets stuck? This does this ring any bells? Right.
No. What do you what?
It's a movie. This is what you're describing is exactly this movie. It's a kid. He gets Star Kid. Star Kid's the name of the movie. Yeah,
Oh.
a suit crashes down there. This came out in 1997, but he gets inside of it. He gets stuck, and it freaked me the fuck out as a kid. But yeah, that's a
Ugh.
great way.
Like that
That's a
Ryan
great
Reynolds
way.
movie Buried or whatever.
Oh yes, yes. Oh, I enjoyed that. I
I
enjoyed that.
also enjoyed that. It's like a solid 90
Uh,
minute cheapo horror movie.
yeah. Do that to the Chief. Let's bury the Master
He
Chief
kind of
in
is
some
that all the
horrific,
time.
horrible way. Yeah.
I mean, he literally like plummets to a planet it as like a comet in the third game and is stuck in his suit until he like wakes up. So that happens. We've seen that happen.
But I say we do that for good, and I keep them named Halo Studios. Have them do something else.
That would be
Have them do
incredible. That's
Killzone.
hilarious.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I think
Uh,
I think that
a
would be good.
serious answer on that question is Destiny is obviously freshly dead, but no less sad.
Freshly dead.
Freshly
Yeah.
dead.
I don't know. I think something Destiny is
I mean,
pretty
something for all of
guaranteed.
these things could come back, but guaranteed, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think could. I think guaranteed there's gonna be something Destiny.
I agree.
Now,
I agree. Something somewhere someday.
is that more mobile game? Is that a pachinko machine? Possibly, but there will be something, I think.
God,
For
yeah.
sure.
Bungie, send me a Destiny pachinko machine for my office, please. In lieu of my escape will make me pod check this month, send me a
Yeah.
send me a pachinko machine, please.
Yeah.
I'll
They can
I'll
have
learn how to
that.
play pachinko. Um, I do you want to do one more each, and then we'll call it.
Let me do a speed round of
Yes,
3
okay.
really quick,
Sure, sure,
and
sure,
then
sure.
I have one.
One you want to
Okay.
okay, yeah, let's do that.
Earthworm Jim, come on. One of the greatest character designs of all time.
Yes,
Time Splitters.
problematic owner that one. Are
We
you
can
aware of
sort.
that? Yeah, yeah,
I'm
okay.
not aware,
Yo,
but we
he's
can
a
sort that.
yeah. You would need to sort that. He's a huge piece of shit. As somebody as a fellow Earthworm Jim lover, bad,
He
bad.
just looks too cool not to have in some capacity.
Correct.
Time splitters. There's a awesome free to play time splitter project that's bringing all the time
Oh,
splitters into
really?
one
Wow.
game. It's super fun. There's like I played a month or two ago. There are a lot of people in there. That needs to come back. And Jack and Daxter are my
Jack and Daxter
quick
is
ones.
also on my list.
Yeah, come on.
Come
Jack and
on.
Daxter's gotta come back in some
Yes. My
capacity.
other quickfire one was Uncharted on there because I think those games just got better and better and better over time. I think Uncharted 4 is like somehow underrated despite being like very critically acclaimed. That game's really fucking good. If you're looking for like a narrative uh Indiana Jones like game, Uncharted 4 is so good. Lost Legacy is also super good. So I don't know. I would love to see. I pine for the days of old Naughty Dog, I guess is what we're both saying here.
Some Nathan Drake coming back. I will say Uncharted is one of those ones where I feel like I get my Uncharted fix in things like The Last of Us in the upcoming whatever. I know it's not like
Intergalactic
sturdy like
yeah.
franchise, but the feeling that I got playing Uncharted, I do feel that in the other Naughty Dog games as they
True. You get a little bit of it from I don't know if you played Indiana Jones and The Great Circle last year, but it's
yeah,
fantastic. Or not
yeah,
last
that was
year,
something fun.
last 2 years, like a year, a little bit over a year ago. But I got you get a lot of Uncharted from that, obviously, since Uncharted is very much an Indiana Jones game.
And holy shit, does what's his name sound like fucking
Oh
Harrison
my god,
Ford?
yeah, Troy Baker, that's incredible. That's one
Troy
of those
Baker,
things where I
yeah.
like was playing play clips for my dad on the way to and from dinner, um, just to listen to him be like, "Holy shit!" All right,
Yeah.
what's your big one? What's your big one off of your
Okay.
speed run?
Now this is I have recency bias as I'm just about to beat this game, maybe in a few more hours. But I have been blown like I'm doing this thing. I'm playing CRPG Baldur's Gate 3 with Ryan, which has kind of sent me on this journey of exploring more RPG. I've enjoyed RPGs. I've played a lot of them, but the classics, I feel like there's a gap in my knowledge in some genres. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity and stuff. I played this game thinking I've heard a lot of great stuff about it. I honestly thought this is too dated. It's probably not going to hold up in some capacity. I am playing Chrono Trigger right now, and
Really?
I shit you not. I'm almost done with it.
Wow.
Like I said, maybe like 3 or 4 more hours. Ryan, this shit is mind blowing. It is absurd to me how good this game
I've
is.
always
The
wanted to go
tone,
back. I've never
the
played
story,
it.
I, the pixel art in this game. Now I'm playing on PC and I'm playing with like, it's upscaled or whatever. But
Yeah.
I've looked at a lot of the old stuff and it's a top-down old school RPG. Like sometimes I'll like pull up a guide because like fucking where do I go in this one random wall or something? And it's pretty much the same, it seems, as the original. I don't know that I've ever seen pixel art this fucking good. I mean, it
Yeah, it's
is a
gorgeous.
it's astonishing. The soundtrack is maybe the best video game soundtrack of all time. I mean, I don't know. I'm just stunned by how good this game is. The story holds up. It's like lightweight but also touches on everything. I'm pretty sure it's made by like the dude who did Dragon Ball and the guy who made Final Fantasy, so it's kind of like okay, obviously it turned out good. But this game came out in 1995, I think. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's when it came out. And I am it is
I
like
was 1 years
disgusting
old.
that there's not something like
Yeah. No.
this could work as a remake. This you could just remaster this and give it to people in a newer format and people would love it. But the fact that there is not a Final Fantasy or like a modern Final like what they're doing for Final Fantasy 7 for Chrono Trigger is kind of absurd to me. And dude, there are moments in this game that bring you to tears. It's like no joke. Like the corniness of like it's top down, it's goofy, it's whatever. It works, bro.
It's got a
This shit
frog. It's got
works.
a frog.
It has a fucking frog. He's not just a frog, Ryan. Let me tell you this. He's not just a frog. He's a knight, okay?
Hell
Who
yeah, dude.
has a wonderful backstory
I want to
about
play
how he's
this.
trying to live up to the people who came before him and his family and the duty that he holds, and he fails, and it's about his comeback and his return. Also, we're talking about things like Mass Effect, and we're talking about well, earlier I was talking about Exodus, which is interesting. If you don't know, that game's kind of playing with this idea of like you travel in time, and so a lot of time passes, you see the effects of your decisions. Dude, this game has like 13 different endings, and it's like came out for what, the NES or the SNES or something, and you can
I
go
think
to
that would have been
different
the
points in
SNES.
time. You talk to people, it affects stuff in different eras, and the order that you do things determines the ending you get. It's mind
Oh
blowing. So Chrono Trigger,
man,
that's got to come back in some capacity.
I
You
want to.
should play it, right?
I need to play it. I need to. It's like that's like such a huge gap for me. But like, especially as a Akira Toriyama enjoyer, um, yeah, the art is just so gorgeous. I love to hear that it still holds up. Uh,
Yeah. Oh, and
it's so great to hear.
they do shit where it's like that you're in the future now, and they fucking do like a 3D pixel thing where you're
Oh
racing, and
man,
all of a sudden you're seeing different angles, and you get these vistas, and like a lot of the rooms that you enter have different, like slightly different perspectives.
yeah,
So it's like you're being caught off guard and shown different things like all the time.
that's super
Yeah,
cool. That sounds super ambitious for the time.
oh my God. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it fits. There's so much of it too. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how they did it.
Beautiful,
But yeah,
beautiful.
gotta come back.
Well, that's a lot more like heavy and probably honest that are great. Like not honest, but more welcome than my final one. But my final one is just as valid and as important. In Viva Pinata,
Viva Pinata. Oh my God. You want to
bring
make the
back
pinatas have sex?
Viva Pinata. Like yeah, where are where are these fudge hogs? Where have they gone? Bring them back. Like I feel like we've had so many different, like farming simulators are so in right now. I mean, like they've been in since Stardew Valley came out like over a decade ago at this point. Um, and like it just feels like it's crazy that we haven't had something like Viva Pinata return. It feels like it came out like right before all of that big stuff happened, and it was still huge. Um, what is like? I know people love Sea of Thieves, man. I know they love it. I'm not trying to yuck your yum on Sea of Thieves, but like, how are we keeping the rare team so locked up that they are doing Sea of Thieves all the time and making fake Captain Jack Sparrow when they could be making Fudge Hogs and the Bear and the Bird doing shit, out having adventures? We can do both. Surely we can do both. How can we not have both? I want a new, I want a sequel to Trouble in Paradise. I want to remaster Trouble in Paradise. Like, come on. It got a kids show at some point. Did you know that? It's horrifying looking, but like, Viva Pinata is so good. There's been like every time there's like a new management sim thing that has like a little bit of Viva Pinata in it, it's like that's where the sauce is. It still holds up. I don't know if you're a Viva Pinata enjoyer, but man, what a series.
Viva Pinata, and I think this is probably intentional, based off the design of the game, exists in my mind like a blur, like a memory of just like a obscure acid trip I had when I was like 12 years old. I remember enjoying it. I remember a lot of people talking about it. I remember how weird it was, but it exists in that same kind of realm as like Katamari Damacy or whatever that game is, where it's like I couldn't tell you exactly how you play that game, what that game was about, but
Mm-hmm.
I was there. I experienced Viva Pinata. I remember beautiful thing. Was okay. Was Bug Snacks kind of like a spiritual successor to Viva
Yeah,
Pinata in
there's a
some
lot
way?
of Bug Snacks. There's a lot of Viva Pinata and Bug Snacks. There's something recently that had some Viva Pinata to it that I'm trying to remember. I think I read about it on my website. So I know it was within the last year, but I can't remember what it is. There's still some stuff out there pushing the Viva Pinata vibe whenever possible, but like
Yeah,
we've
I
not
agree.
just not gotten the genuine article in so long that it's
Yeah.
like it's on our best games list or something. God.
Hey, another no-brainer for Xbox. We're talking about core franchises here. Explosion Man, Brute Force, and Viva Pinata.
Yeah, yeah. The people cry for Viva. Oh, that's of course. It was Pocopia is very Viva Pinata
Okay.
on Switch 2, which everyone loves. So it's like we're come on. I know everyone was like,
We're
yeah,
right
let's
there.
do it with a you know, let's watch this Magnemite get horny or whatever. But like, and everyone loves to do that. But like, what if they were pinatas? What if they're full of candy? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be whimsical? Xbox,
Yeah. Asha Sharma's desk immediately. She needs to
yes.
see this
Honestly,
podcast.
one of the like greenlight a new Banjo Kazooie, greenlight a Viva Pinata, and like, okay, now we're talking. You know, now I'm
Yeah.
interested in you know I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be interested in whatever AI bullshit that you're probably gonna throw into this thing, but I would look the other way more easily if I could be I'm saying I could be easily distracted by a fudge hog and a dopey bear and his bird companion. Um his bitchy bird
Ryan is
companion.
creating his own good luck, have fun, don't die
Yes, that is my
dystopian
yes.
future.
If you want to distract me with something, there you go.
Viva Pinata right into your veins.
Yes.
The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
digital hellscape is here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And then make like a Banjo Kazooie like Easter egg in it, and that you unlock post game or something where you can do a Viva Pinata Garden on Mumbo's Mountain, and I'm just gone. The amount of atrocities that could happen in the background that I just would not even pay attention to at all because I'd just be too busy making my Pinata Garden on Mumbo Mountain. That's like that's my Matrix moment. You know what I mean? Like plug me in, get me back in there. Uh, I sit
Take me
there.
back.
I know the stake isn't real, but I don't care. You know, that's my moment.
Dude.
Anyway,
That's a good one. That's a good one to
thank
go
you.
out on as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thankfully, we were able to get another. I already see people picking up about it. Thankfully, we came in being like, well, let's keep making this show a little shorter every episode.
Yeah, I think we did. We
So
got
we
a
did.
short
We
one
managed
this
it just a
time.
little bit shorter this time, a little bit shorter every time.
Perfect.
We're gonna keep getting that number down. Every episode, it's gonna keep going in the down direction, just like we said. So, excellent stuff. I know. Well, next episode will be even shorter. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
uh, dying franchises. Hopefully, Dragon Age won't go that way, but it does kind of seem that is the case. So
Not anymore, dude. This show will get up enough
this will
people
change. It'll
riled
change.
up.
It'll change
They'll
everything.
have to answer. We'll get the petition. You know what? I'm starting the change.org petition for every single one that we talked about in the show. Go to change.org to sign the petition now. This makes real change, as you remember from our last episode. So,
Yes. Yeah. Proven. Proven already. All right. We will be back with another probably sad, harrowing tale of the video game industry soon. If you're watching this right when it comes up again, hey, Jake and I are probably streaming some stuff today. And if not, the VODs are still there. So, but thank you for your support and everything. You can see more stuff is coming. You should be seeing something hopefully cool very soon on the channel from me. And then Jake, plug your very cool shit as well.
youtube.com. Just type in Jake. I'm the only one that will pop up.
Only one.
I'm the only Jake talking
Yes.
about video games on YouTube right now.
Yes.
So
Yes, thank you to Grenader Jake for joining me for this episode. Yes, Jake the Alright, go check it out. There's a card somewhere over here that I throw in that you'll find because Jake refuses to pitch himself. So um anyway, we'll be back. Thanks so much. Yeah.